The world around us thrives on energy. Some types of energies are visible to the naked eye, while others are much harder to see. Some would go so far as to say they're invisibly visible, meaning only those who are in touch with their more spiritual side can see the true beauty of the world around us. There have been claims that all living things possess an aura for many years. What exactly does that mean? An aura is a multicolored oval energy field that is occasionally referred to as a psychic energy field. Auras are oval-shaped, colored bands of lights, vibrations, and sounds. According to spiritual beliefs, an aura or human energy field is a colored emanation said to enclose a human body or any animal or object. In some esoteric positions, the aura is described as a subtle body. Psychics and holistic medicine practitioners often claim to have the ability to see the size, color, and type of vibration of an aura. In alternative spiritual medicine, the human being's aura is seen as part of hidden anatomy that reflects the state of being and health of a client, often understood even to comprise centers of vital force called chakras. Such claims are not supported by scientific evidence and are thus pseudoscience. When tested under scientific controlled experiments, the ability to see auras has not been proven to exist. In Latin and Ancient Greek, aura means wind, breeze, or breath. In Middle English, aura is defined as a gentle breeze. By the end of the 19th century, spiritualists used the word in some circles to represent a speculated subtle emanation around the body. Charles Webster Leadbeater, a former priest of the Church of England and a member of the Mystic Theosophical Society, first popularized the concept of auras. Leadbeater studied theosophy in India and believed he could use his clairvoyant powers to conduct scientific investigations. He claimed that he had found that most men came from Mars, but the more advanced men came from the Moon, and that hydrogen atoms were made of 6 bodies contained in an egg-like form. In his book Man, Visible and Invisible, published in 1903, Leadbeater illustrated man's aura at various stages of his moral evolution, from the savage to the saint. In 1910, Leadbeater presented the modern concept of auras by including the tantric notion of chakras in his book The Inner Life. Leadbeater did not simply give the tantric beliefs to the West. He reconstructed and reinterpreted them by mixing them with his ideas without acknowledging the sources of these innovations. Some of Leadbeater's innovations describe chakras as energy vortices and associate each of them with a gland, an organ, and other body parts. In the following years, Leadbeater's ideas on the aura and chakras were embraced and reinterpreted by other theosophists, such as Rudolf Steiner and Edgar Cayce. Still, his occult anatomy remained of little interest within the esoteric counterculture until the 1980s, when the New Age movement picked it up. In 1977, American esotericist Christopher Hills published the book Nuclear Evolution, The Rainbow Body, which presented a modified version of Leadbeater's occult anatomy. Whereas Leadbeater had drawn each chakra with intricately detailed shapes and multiple colors, Hills presented them as a sequence of centers, each associated with a shade of the rainbow. Most of the subsequent New Age writers based their representations of the aura on Hills' interpretation of Leadbeater's ideas. Chakras became a part of mainstream esoteric speculations in the 1980s and 1990s. Many New Age techniques that aim to clear blockages of the chakras were developed during those years, such as crystal healing and aurosoma. By the late 1990s, chakras were less connected with their theosophical and Hinduist roots and more infused with New Age ideas. Various New Age books proposed different links between chakras and colors, personality traits, illnesses, Christian sacraments, etc. Multiple types of holistic healing within the New Age movement claim to use aura reading techniques, such as bioenergetic analysis, spiritual energy, and energy medicine. In yoga, participants attempt to focus on or enhance their auric energy shield. The concept of auric energy is spiritual and is concerned with metaphysics. Some people think the aura carries a person's soul after death. There have been numerous attempts to capture an energy field around the human body, going as far back as photographs by French physician Hippolyte Baraduc in the 1890s. Supernatural interpretations of these images have often resulted from a lack of understanding of the simple natural phenomena behind them, such as heat emanating from a human body producing aura-like images under infrared photography. In 1939, Semyon Davidovich Kuryan discovered that placing an object or body part directly on photographic paper and then passing a high voltage across the object would obtain the image of a glowing contour surrounding the object. This process came to be known as Kuryan photography. Some parapsychologists, such Thelma Moss of UCLA, have proposed that these images show levels of psychic powers and bioenergies. However, studies have found that the Kuryan effect is caused by the presence of moisture on the object being photographed. Electricity produces an area of gas ionization around the object if it is moist, which is the case for living things. This causes an alteration of the electric charge pattern on the film. After rigorous experimentations, no mysterious process has been discovered concerning the Kuryan photography. More recent attempts at capturing auras include the aura imaging cameras and software introduced by Guy Coggins in 1992. Coggins claims that his software uses biofeedback data to color the picture of the subject. The technique has failed to yield reproducible results. Tests of psychic abilities to observe alleged aura emanations have repeatedly been met with failure. One test involved placing people in a dark room and asking the psychic to state how many auras she could observe. Investigators obtained only chance results. Recognition of auras has occasionally been tested on television. One test involved an aura reader standing on one side of a room with an opaque partition separating her from several slots, which might contain either actual people or mannequins. The aura reader failed to identify the slots containing people, incorrectly stating that all held people. In another televised test, another aura reader was placed before a partition where 5 people were standing. He claimed that he could see their auras from behind the partition. As each person moved out, the reader was asked to identify where that person was standing behind the slot. He identified 2 out of 5 correctly. Attempts to prove the existence of auras scientifically have repeatedly met with failure. For example, people cannot see auras in complete darkness, and auras have never been successfully used to identify people when their identifying features are otherwise obscured in controlled tests. A 1999 study concluded that conventional sensory cues, such as radiated body heat, might be mistaken for evidence of a metaphysical phenomenon. Psychologist Andrew Never has written that there is no good evidence to support the notion that auras are in any way psychic in origin. Studies in laboratory conditions have demonstrated that auras are best explained as visual illusions known as afterimages. Neurologists contend that people may perceive auras because of effects within the brain, epilepsy, migraines, or the influence of psychedelic drugs, such as LSD. It has been suggested that auras may result from synesthesia. However, a 2012 study found no link between auras and synesthesia, concluding that the discrepancies found suggest that both phenomena are phenomenological and behaviorally dissimilar. Clinical neurologist Stephen Novella has written, "Given the weight of the evidence, it seems that the connection between auras and synesthesia is speculative and based on superficial similarities that are likely coincidental. Other causes may include disorders within the visual system provoking optical effects." In a review for the Skeptical Inquirer, Bridget Perez wrote, "Perceptual distortions, illusions, and hallucinations might promote belief in auras. Psychological factors, including absorption, fantasy proneness, vividness of visual imagery, and afterimages, might also be responsible for the phenomena of the aura." Scientists have repeatedly concluded that the ability to see auras does not exist. The book The Third Eye, written by Cyril Henry Hoskin under the pseudonym Lobsang Rampa, claims that Tibetan monks opened the third spiritual eye using trepanation to accelerate the development of clairvoyance and allow them to see the aura. It also includes body-gazing techniques purported to help achieve aura visualization. The book is, by some, considered to be a hoax. There's little doubt that the controversies and mysteries surrounding auras will continue to fascinate some and infuriate others. In the end, what you believe is what you'll consider as fact. That is until someone proves otherwise. Whether or not that will be possible, like auras themselves, remains to be seen.